Have you ever felt like there must be a moment in life where your money starts working harder than you do? Like there's a hidden switch that flips somewhere quietly, and suddenly everything begins to change without you realizing it. A point where the stress of earning every single dollar shifts into a flow where income comes even when you're resting, eating, sleeping, or spending time with the people you love. And have you ever asked yourself what separates the people who struggle every month from the people who seem to breathe calmly even when the world outside is shaking financially? Because the truth is, there is a point where money becomes self-sustaining, but most people never reach it. Not because they lack intelligence or effort, but because they never learn how to build the right relationship with money. And that relationship begins from understanding money like a living system, something that grows when fed properly and dies when ignored or mistreated. And most individuals treat money like an object instead of a tool. They chase it desperately as if it's always running away from them, never realizing that money doesn't like desperation. It likes direction, purpose, patience, structure. And I want to speak to you today as if we are sitting across from each other having a real conversation, not a lecture, not a motivational speech, but a real moment where I tell you the simple raw truth. The point where your money becomes self-sustaining is not a magical moment. It is a process, a slow shift, an accumulation of decisions stacked daily even when it feels like nothing is happening. It is when your money begins generating more money at a rate that exceeds your need to work for it. And this stage is not only about investing, not only about saving, not only about earning more, but about building a system that combines all three in a flow that suits your life and your personality. Because every financial journey is unique, but the formula has patterns. Patterns that repeat across wealthy individuals, entrepreneurs, investors, people who started with nothing but built something solid. And one of these patterns is learning how to live below your emotional income level, not your financial income level, because emotional spending is the thief of wealth. Emotional buying decisions are the cracks through which security leaks. And we live in a world constantly pushing us to express our feelings through purchases, to reward ourselves for nothing, to prove our worth through brands, to measure happiness with price tags. And when you stop tying your identity to what you buy, and instead tie it to what you build, this is where the shift begins, because self-sustaining money requires discipline before expansion. It requires slowing down before speeding up. It requires learning the art of holding your money, protecting your money, directing your money, and most importantly, respecting your money. And respect means clarity. Clarity meaning you know exactly where your money goes, what it does, how it works, and where it will be in the next 5 years. And once you control the flow of your spending, you move into the stage of increasing your income streams, learning that one job, one skill, one source is not enough in a world where everything changes faster than your salary. So you start learning a second skill, maybe a digital skill, maybe a business skill, maybe a craft you can monetize. And at first the progress feels slow, like you're wasting time, like nobody sees what you're building. But this is exactly how the seeds of financial independence grow. Quietly, hidden, almost invisible until they break the surface. And once you have more than one income stream, your financial identity shifts again. You no longer feel trapped. You no longer feel at the mercy of one employer, one paycheck, one situation. Because now money has started moving in channels instead of a single pipe. And now comes the real turning point: investment. And I don't mean risky gambling. I don't mean chasing hype trends. I mean strategic, patient, boring, consistent investment in assets that hold value or grow value. And this can be stocks, real estate, digital products, creative assets, businesses, anything that continues to produce returns without requiring equal time input every single day. And when you do this consistently over years, something incredible happens. Your money begins to generate returns that are bigger than the time you spend earning. And this is the exact point where money becomes self-sustaining. It's when interest, dividends, rental income, royalties, or automated business earnings become your financial foundation. And your job, career, or business becomes optional. Not because you want to quit, but because now you have freedom to choose how you want to work, when you want to work, and who you want to work with. And this kind of freedom is not loud, it's quiet, it's peaceful. It's the calmness of knowing you don't have to panic every time something changes. Because your financial life is not a house of cards anymore, it's a solid structure supported by multiple pillars. And people may see the results and call it luck, talent, good timing. But they never see the part where you were controlling your spending while others were showing off. They never see the part where you learned skills in silence while others were scrolling endlessly. They never see the part where you invested small amounts for years while others were chasing quick dopamine purchases. They never see the sacrifices, the patience, the discipline, the small decisions that looked insignificant but shaped everything. And the truth is, financial independence is not about being rich. It's about being stable, unshaken, calm, strong, able to support yourself and your family without fear, without stress, without dependence on outside forces. And when you reach that stage, you will feel something inside you shift. Your confidence changes, your posture changes, your tone changes, your peace grows, and life begins to feel lighter. Because the weight of financial uncertainty is one of the heaviest pressures a human can carry. And releasing that pressure is like breathing fully for the first time in years. And now I want you to ask yourself, are you building toward the point where your money sustains itself? Or are you living for the moment? Reacting instead of planning, spending instead of building, moving without direction instead of designing your life with intention? Because the life you want is not far, it's built in the decisions you make today, the habits you form this month, the things you choose to learn this year. So look closely at the path you're walking, because it will lead somewhere whether you choose that destination or not. And the question that remains now, the question only you can answer is this: are you ready to build the version of your life where your money works for you instead of you chasing it forever?